Alright, so hey guys, so today what I'm going to be showing you how to do is I'm going to be showing you how to make paint jobs for iRacing. Now, a few things you first off need. You'll need, of course, iRacing and any car DLC that you need for whatever car you want to be painting. I'm going to probably just use like the MX5 because it's free and it's easier to use. Some sort of image editing software, whether that be Photoshop, GIMP, or Paint.net, just as long as it will let you render out an image in a PNG file, and as long as you can work with layers. Now, you don't necessarily need to work with layers, it just makes it so much more easier. So, first off, what you want to do is you'll want to open up iRacing and just find whatever car you want. Okay, so to find a car, what I usually do is I will go to Paint Shop first off, and then let everything load up and then select whatever car you want. So like I said, I will go with the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup just because I've worked with it 2 or 3 times before and it's just a lot more easier to do. Next up, what you want to do is click on this download template. Now obviously, like I said, you don't have to work with MX-5, it's just what I want to use just because I have a fair idea of what I want to do. So when that happens, I'll open up a new tab and you'll see a little thing that'll open up here. So then just go to wherever your downloads usually are. You can minimize iRacing and everything else for now. And then, so for me, it will say downloads. And there you go. It'll say something like MX16, something like that. It could be different for different vehicles. Like, say for example, this is the one for the 5488. So, you just want to bring that anywhere you want, really. Doesn't really matter. I just usually take them to my desktop, so just double click on it and it should open it, and then just pull out the PSD for it. Now PSDs are probably Photoshop is usually the best thing to use with. Anything that will allow you to open a PSD will work. I think I don't really know what else allows you to open a PSD, but typically Photoshop is always the best thing. Now I'm just going to delete this because I already have it on my computer. So now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and open up that PSD. So I have mine saved in a completely different place. So I'm going to go to my iRacing car templates and then click the Mazda MX-5 2016. And this is what you will get. Now before we actually get into like design and design stuff, there's one more thing you'll need called Trading Paints. So open up a browser and just search Trading Paints. Trading Paints. Like so, and then I'm just going to sign in just real quick just so as I can show you how to download it. So pretty much just create an account, sign in, whatever. Okay, so once you've created your account, sign in or whatever, obviously you won't be signing in if it's your first time making design, but just come up to the little icon up here. It'll probably be different views. You should probably have like a blank one or whatever. But yeah, just come to install downloader, click on that, and then it'll take you to download Trading Paints. Click on that again. I'm going to cancel it because I already have it installed. Just install it. It shouldn't be too hard to install. Just click next and everything. Now, yeah, you don't really need that just yet, but I just thought it was best just to have it. Now, the first thing you kind of want to do is familiarize yourself first off with the different panels. Now, the best way to do this is to kind of you want to kind of so all the so they'll have like all the temperatures of these car patterns here. Now, if you open that up, you can first off, I tend to just go through and click them all really quickly first. Can't take a look, a little minute, but just click them all. Okay, so it's just gonna be the ones that pretty much have like the red in the thumbnail. Now, what you can do is, let me just untick this. You can obviously go through the ones that's already in the game and kind of go off of one of them. I think I might just for the sake of showing you how to do it, I'm gonna do one. I'm probably not gonna copy the same design in the game, any of the designs in the game, but pretty much if you look here, usually it's the same number as what is up here, so 23. So if you come through here, come down here, and you look for 23, it's typically the same one. Now, it may be a little bit hard to tell which that's not the right one anyway. So I think this is the right one, is it? Yeah. Okay. So you have the option of either just editing this, so you can just like edit up the colors or whatever you want, and then add in some logos and stuff. Now for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely redo the whole skin. So what I tend to do first off is I'll click on whatever pattern I'm going to kind of work over the top of, and then I'll come up to layer, create a new layer. This will always be different depending on um, what program you're using. I typically would name this like base color or whatever. It's completely up to you. Now, what I tend to do is I will just fill that with like a color. So I'll go edit fill. If you're in Photoshop, it's probably different elsewhere. I think I'm gonna go for. I think what's a good color we could start with. I think we'll start with like a blue. I'm just gonna do like a basic blue with some like white stripes, just for the purpose of this. Now, as you can see, there's obviously already logos on the template. Now these are in a couple of different layers to everything else. So you look here, you've got a couple of different ones. It's all these blue ones are what you're kind of pretty much going to be editing. So you'll have ones such as the car decals, which will remove all the decals. So it'll remove like your circle for your number, all these decals here. Now you can obviously completely remove them if you want. Now it will leave these Mazda ones. Now I prefer to leave these Mazda ones on the design. It's completely up to yourself. The way to get rid of them is to pretty much just hide the color change logos. It's completely up to yourself. You've also got a banner one, but I usually leave the banner one on because it doesn't really do much anyway in game. You've also got cockpit colors. Now your cockpit color is down here. So depending on what you want your cockpit color to be, you can just literally just like color overlay this layer. I'm just going to do the exact same blue that we use as the main blue. But you know, this can be pretty much whatever you want. You also have actually for cockpit colors I tend to go black, sorry. So black, you can pretty much, like I said, you can pretty much do this whatever you want. So the pick box colors is another one you can also change, which is, let me see, it's this one down here. So I usually just typically overlay that with the same color as we're using for the car. Now you can also do any other colors you use. Like I'm going to probably be putting a little bit of white in this, so you could do it white, you could do it like yellow, green, blue, red, you name it, you can pretty much do it. So pretty much you could pretty much leave it like this and just have one solid color. Now me personally, I tend to add in like some shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to add some stripes down the side and maybe some down the bottom. So first off, what you need to also do is kind of like figure out like what panels what. So a good way to figure this out is if you open up the kind of the red group and you enable the wire. This can kind of tell you all the body. This will show you all the body lines as well. Another thing I would recommend you do is you enable number blocks, because this is where the number in game will go. Now you can obviously put your own number on it, but I would prefer to just leave it so people can pick their own numbers. You know, makes it just easier for them. So what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to start off with a stripe down the side, like just like a little thin one down the side here. So pretty much you can use whatever tool you want depending on what your own program allows you to do. So I'm just going to use the little rectangle one. I tend to zoom in as well when I'm working on one side. So we'll just go kind of, I think I'll probably do like probably that high, and then I'll obviously fill in. Now I would typically remove the stroke if it automatically adds a stroke. Now you don't have to like make this perfectly within these lanes, as long as it doesn't go over any of these panels. So like that one or that one, that's all you really need to worry about. Now I obviously want that to be on the other side, so I would usually tend to put it in align it with like some line so that I can easily then transfer it over to the other side. So what I will probably go off of will be this line here, so we'll just put that like that. Okay, that's pretty easy. Now obviously I'm going to want to put it on the other side, which is this side. Now a good way to know where the side is, if you look for like either the fuel cap or a door handle or like a side marker or indicator, where depending where you're from. You typically, another good way is there's obviously two sides to the car, so look for something that there's two of. Then you've got the hood. The hood is usually between the two sides. Then the front bumper. Now the front bumper could be up here, could be down here. It depends on the skin itself. Then you've got the trunk, rear bumper. Now this, like I said, this will be obviously different depending on different cars. Now there's obviously little bits and bobs as well that will be different depending on your skin. Now this bit here is actually the like little inlay for the grill here, so that would also be different in different cars as well. This is the underside of the hood. Now you don't really see that much in iRacing, so you can pretty much leave that as is. and then this is the underside of the trunk. I believe these are the wing mirrors, which will obviously look different as well depending on the template as well. Here, I don't fully know what this is. I think it's actually the inlay for the license plate on the back, but I'm not too sure on that either. So it's good. Now, another way, obviously, to kind of figure out what panel, obviously another way then to find out what each panel is to just throw something on the panel and then put it in the iris. Now I'm obviously going to show you how to do that. So yeah, that's just a good way to figure out the panels if you ever need to. So yeah, I'm going to copy this over to the other side. So if I just go and find that rectangle, which I've put completely in the wrong place, you kind of want to keep all your shapes and stuff above your base color. So I'm just going to put that there. You can change the color of that too. I'm just going to change it back to the blue that it should be. So yeah, what I tend to do as well as I'm going is rename everything. So this for me will be the left white stripe, and then you save that. Don't worry about spellings, as long as you know what it is, that's all that matters. Now I'm also going to duplicate this layer. Now for the most part, when you're copying stuff over the sides, you may have to like spin them. So obviously to rotate them, you would click on that and then rotate it. Now you don't need to do it on the rectangle because it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put this pretty much the exact same, find out what line I had on again, and then I'm going to just scroll up and put on the exact same line again. So we're all the way up here, and then we're on that line. So the more you zoom in, obviously the easier it is to get everything exact. So that's the stripe added on that side. Pretty much you can pretty much just leave it that and just have that one stripe. I think I might actually adjust the two of them up just a little bit. Let's see, I usually count how many I adjust as well so that I know for the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do the same 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of looks a little bit off compared to the thing there, but pretty much that's just something you can change and adjust and go back and check, and then if it isn't right, you can always adjust it again. Now I'm also going to copy another one of these. First off, let me just rename this to be right white stripe. Okay. You can also, okay, so yeah, I'm going to put one on the hood as well. So let me just duplicate that layer again. Click OK, and then just bring that down. Now, for the most part, they will have like a center line for you to kind of go off of. So I would kind of work off of that maybe. It should make things just a little bit more easier for you. So I'm going to just align that as close as I can with the center. Now it should snap as well, but if it doesn't, you can just use the center line on the actual panel itself, which is what I typically tend to do. Now I'm also going to put one on the hood. Now I don't know how the scaling will work, so when I put one on I'm going to put one on the trunk now. I don't know how the scaling will work, so it may not be perfect. It'll be this. You would want to do the same kind with the front bumper and probably the rear bumper if you want to continue that. Now you don't necessarily have to. It's completely up to you how you do it. So I'm just going to duplicate this once again and do that. Then move it over and rotate it 90 degrees. Like that, and then you can pretty much put that as center as you can get it pretty much. So I'm not actually going to include it on this little rear valance bit. I'm only going to have it on the trunk and the bonnet. But that's completely up to yourself how you want to do it. Only thing is, if you were to do that with the rear valance, you would then probably want to continue it onto the rear bumper, which you can do, just a little bit more extra work. It's completely up to yourself. So yeah, from here, that's pretty much you done with like basic shapes. Obviously, you can add more. It's completely up to yourself. So you can obviously, of course, add in like logos and stuff like that. So obviously, just say if you wanted a logo, let's just say you wanted let's just say you wanted an iRacing logo put on it somewhere. So just Google iRacing PNG. And then click images, and then just pretty much select whatever PNG you want. I already have one, so I'm not going to bother. So let's just say you want to add in a PNG, come up to File, Open, go to wherever you have all the PNGs and all stuff that you want to use saved. I'm going to use, for this I'm going to look for CD Keys one because that's like one of my main affiliates at the minute. So, but yeah, obviously this can be pretty much whatever you pretty much want it to be. It's up to you, it's your own taste kind of thing. But yeah, just look for whatever it is you want to use. I can't see in the frame, man. Let me see, maybe up at the top. Actually, I'm just going to use 3D wrap for the purpose of this. Now you can obviously use like certain parts of a logo, like say for example something might want to take off the triangle out of 3D wrap, but for this one I typically would take that out myself, but for this one I'm going to leave it on. Let me just close down that because I don't need that open. So yeah, you can obviously close this down after, you can leave it open, it's completely up yourself. Now obviously I'm going to make this a different size because it's a bit too much. I'm going to make it like something like that size there. And then I'm going to want to align it with like a line that's going to be easy to remember. So I'm going to align the center with this one just to make it more easier myself. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, because obviously it doesn't really suit the color scheme, I'm going to change that color so you can just go in your layer styles, click color overlay, change that to white, like so. Relatively easy. And like you can also add on like so you could also change the color of the 3D wrap, but then change this to a different color. This is why you need to. This is just depending on your own software and having knowledge of said software. So now what I want to do is obviously duplicate that layer again. Click OK. Drag it up to where I think close enough to where I want it to be, and then just rotate that 180 degrees. You want to do when you're changing to different sides, so or minus 180. Actually, I should say. I think if you had rotated the other way, it would have been minus 180. So now what I want to do now is figure out where where this is lined, what line this is lined up to. So I'll just go back to the original logo. So okay, so it's the line above the number box. So let's just scroll back up again, and then this wants to be aligned. To the line above the number box. So let me just double check that. It's always good just to double check that you have things right as well, just to make sure it's as close as you can get without having to do too many changes. So this is going to go, I think, here, I believe. You can kind of look too and just kind of judge to see if it's like the same place as it should be. Now, pretty much, I'm just going to leave it there because I'm probably going to make changes anyway, so I want to show you how to do that. So what you want to do before you actually save anything out is you want to remove, if you want to scroll all up to the top, you want to pretty much just remove anything here. So number blocks, mask, and the wire. Now, I typically leave the mask on, it doesn't really matter, and I also leave the car mandatory stuff on, it doesn't really matter either. The car mandatory stuff is the stuff that the game itself will add in no matter what you change. And the mask is just to show you the panels and stuff like that. Another thing too, if you look at these sponsor blocks as well, this is just giving you a basic idea of where you should and shouldn't put sponsors. Now, to be honest, you can pretty much put sponsors anywhere you want, as long as it's not going to be, causing an issue for the number blocks. So I would just leave that as is. So you can remove your number blocks and your sponsor block. Now, another thing is too, with these color change logos, okay, right, they're going to be black. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the color of these before we do anything, just because I want it to be the same color as the rest of the logos, especially on the side there with the 3D wrap and all this. So we'll just color overlay that and make them white again. Okay, so like I said, remove your wire. You can leave the mask on, completely up to yourself. Doesn't really matter. So you should have someone that looks more similar to this. Now once you've done that, come up to File, export as again, or sorry, export then export as, and then just make sure you have it set to PNG. Keep the width and height to 2048 by 2048. Click export, save it to wherever you wish. I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and I would typically just leave it the same name as the actual template. Click save. let that save out. Then you can minimize full shot, but just leave it open. Then next, what you want to do is back out of iRacing if you still have it open. If you don't have it open, perfectly fine. So as you installed earlier, you installed the trading panes. Just double check that's installed. Once you know that's installed, that's fine. Now come back to your web browser with trading panes. Now what you want to do next, you want to go up to upload, let that load up, and select the paint file. So you want to pretty much select whatever you use. So I went with obviously this one, so I'm going to select that. Now you can obviously upload it just to your paints or to showroom now, but every time I've done it with just to my paints, it never shows up for me. So I typically just go for upload to showroom. Now that's will make it so it's visible for everyone. So I'm going to explain something after. So next time down vehicle, select whatever vehicle you're using. So for us, it is the global MX5 Mazda MX5 Cup, and then you can pretty much just put in a tail. Now because this is obviously not finished, I'm just going to put in brackets not finished, just in case anyone does happen to come across it in the time that we're working on it. You can put, and then you can put in the description. You can pretty much put whatever you want. I typically just copy and paste the title into the description. So you can choose here whether you want if you want iRacing itself to stamp the number, which by clicking sim stamp number. I typically allow the iRacing to stamp the number because it gives people the option then to pick whatever number they want. But you can, of course, obviously custom number. I just typically don't. Now for pictures, this is where you would typically add like an actual finished picture of the car. So like something, say, let me just open up one so I can actually kind of show you an example. So something similar to this maybe. You could also maybe add in a bit of rain or whatever, completely up to you. But just for the fact of just while we're still working on the picture, I just usually put a picture of the actual skin itself. It's completely up to you, or paint, or whatever you want to call it. Paint booth info, you can like add in suggested colors. It doesn't really matter. That's going to be completely up to whoever's using the skin. I typically leave it up to them anyway. So put it as public, and then add paint to showroom. Now that'll process, and then I'll take you to the actual page for the actual skin. I'll also give you this little box. You can just click out of that pretty much. Next what you want to do is you want to click erase this paint, and then confirm that, and let that load up. Now, once that's loaded up, you want to open up the Trading Paints program itself. So just search for Trading Paints, open it up, and then you should see a little loading thing here, which is downloading. I would also click the automatic refresh paints as well for this as well. It just helps with future. Now, once you've done that, that's pretty much should be your paint in iRacing. So open up iRacing, let that load up. Okay, so once that is loaded up, come over to your paint shop, little tab, and then select the car. Now for me it always seems to default to the key, I don't know why, but yeah, just come down and select the car you want. So Global Mazda MX5 Cup again, let that load in. Mine's a bit slow for some reason. It's been doing it the last like weeks, so I don't know why it's doing that. Now another thing you need to do is so this should be on selected, so just select this and then it should show you your paint job. Now with this number here, I don't think you can actually change the color of it in iRacing. It seems to be black, so the only thing that's black is this. So we change that to white, it does nothing. Okay, so what I would recommend you do is you go back into your edit thing and put like some sort of background around it. So luckily, if you go back to your PSD or whatever you're using, if you go back to your car decal, you can add in back in all these car decals. Now, what I would typically do is I would remove for the most part all of them. Actually, I think if anything, I will remove all of them except from the circle. Now, the reason I want the circle is to have the little white background around the 70 set, the number, because unfortunately we cannot change the color of it. I don't know why. It's just whatever way iRacing has made the game. So go back to your design. Now you can obviously remove whichever logos you want. I am going to change I'll probably remove everything. The only one I typically don't tend to remove is, like I said, these circles and this battery tender one. I typically tend to leave that on. So what I'll do is I'll quickly just remove all of that. Just make sure you only remove what you need to remove. So what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier, because it's kind of hard to see, I'm going to remove just the side stripe here, just so to know what I've selected and what I haven't selected. So we'll just select that, and then on Photoshop you can just press backspace to get rid of it, and then do the same here, and then do this side. So that, I think I didn't fully select that probably, so we'll do that, and then do the exact same here. Now it's completely up to you if you want to keep this circle, but I'm just going to avoid deleting the circle just because I want to keep it myself. So I'll do that. Now you can obviously remove the ones in the rear bumper, which I'm going to do. Let me just reselect that because I've over-selected there. I'm just going to remove that. And then do the same with the front bumper. Now with the front bumper, this Sky Active technology, you can actually get rid of that, but it doesn't actually show in the car now, so don't worry too much about it. If it's just there and it's annoying you, you can just cover it up with something white. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add something to the front bump, to the bonnet, sorry, or the hood. Now obviously I'm just going to turn back on the mask just so as we get an idea of where the center is again, or not the wire, the mask, sorry, the wire. Now you could pretty much just put whatever you want pretty much, so I'm going to open up my own actual logo. So we'll use this, and then we're just going to drag that in. Now the reason why I'm doing this too is just to kind of show you how to like update a paint and stuff like that. So let me just make that the right size. So I'm saying about roughly like that. I think that'll be good enough size. And then we can just rotate that 90 degrees. Also with Photoshop too, you can type in like any rotation you want as well, which is a lot more easier. And then that looks as centered as it can be anyway. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, now the way you would update your paint, first off, make sure you have trading panes closed when you're updating it, because it doesn't really seem to work too well, and also close down iRacing. Now if you go back to your browser tab with trading paints on, you should, if you've left everything all open, you should be on this page. Now if you don't have that page, just go to showroom and go to my paints, and then go to my showroom paints, and then you can pretty much just select the one that you want to use, you want to edit. Then if you come up to edit, click edit. So pretty much just to update your actual design, click change or replace paint file. And well, first off, sorry, my bad, you need to first off export the new version. So export as like export PNG, leave as PNG as per usual, and then you can save it. Probably best just to save the same place. Now I would probably just put like a number 1 at the end of this, just so to know which one's which. So number 1, and then go back to the trading paints tab, and then just change or replace the file. Now obviously just remember to render your file as you're going, and not like the last minute. Now when you just let that upload, and then if you scroll all the way down, you can pretty much leave everything as is. You can change this as well, but I just tend to leave it as is. Now just scroll all the way down and click update paint, and let that update. And then you should see this kind of like yellow box that'll say update available. Click on that. That should then update that paint. And then it should just be a matter of opening up trading paints again. Now I seem to have issues sometimes with this, but I have to delete the whole skin off of the trading paints website and just re-upload the whole thing. So you may or may not have to do that. Now I'm just going to show you how I would typically do that as well when we've updated this. So let's just see if it updates. So yeah, come back to your paint shop again, and once again select the car if it's not already on the car that you want to use. So Global MX5 Cup, and let that load. Now if you have trading paints open, this should automatically be selected. So as you can see, that's updated because obviously we've added that big logo, and now we've got the little circle now. I accidentally forgot to re-add in the stripe there on the side, so that's, don't worry about, I'm not going to worry about that at the minute. We'll just look at it from the side. So let's just say that doesn't update fully. What you want to do is close down your iRacing, your trading panes again. Now, seeing as I'm going to be updating, let me just re-add in that little stripe here really quickly, which is just a matter of doing that. Okay, so while I'm here, let's just say you want to make another change. Make your change. Pretty much you can pretty much do as you wish. Add some logo to the trunk, maybe another one here to the side somewhere. Add note to the rear bumper. It's completely up to yourself. But yeah, like I said, just export it again. I'm also going to export it again because I made a mistake when updating it the last time. So yeah, we'll export that and save. Always save your updated paints to the same location. It just makes it a lot easier to work with. I'm going to put that as 2, click enter, and then I'll save that out. Now, once again, go back to your trading panes and then click edit. Now, if it doesn't update, the only real way to do it is to delete the whole thing. I'm going to completely delete the whole thing just to show you this. It does take a little while, so just let it load. Okay, so once that's deleted, you can once again just come back up to your little upload thing here at the top right of your screen, click upload. And then it's just the same process as the original upload, so select the file, select whatever file you want it to be, click on community again, just make sure this loads in as well. Once again select the vehicle, so where are we? Global Mazda MX-5 Cup. Tail can be as is. I'm just going to put like not finished again as in brackets because you may want to change something. So we'll do that. And then I'm just going to copy that into the description for now. Okay. So yeah, same as per usual, just upload your picture, whatever you want it to be. Select whatever. And just leave all these as normal and leave all these as normal and then add paint to showroom. And then it's just the same process as per usual. So you just pretty much click erase this paint, confirm. Let that load in. Open up trading paints. And then open up iRacing. Now when you open up trading paints, just make sure it loads in properly as well. Up there I should say loading and all too, so. Then back to paint shop once again, select your car. Global MX-5 Cup for me. Okay, mine isn't updated, but if it doesn't update, just re-update it again. It should work. If it doesn't re-update, just do the delete thing again. But yeah, so that's pretty much how you do it, really. The only other things you can really do is obviously, to be honest, with the making the paint and stuff, it's completely up to yourself, like what you add in. Like you could get a lot more creative with more designs. You could add in like all these like kind of intricate line work and all that kind of stuff, different logos. It's really just up to you in the end up. But yeah, you can pretty much just keep editing away, update it as much as you want until you're happy with it, and then once you're happy with it, just give it a good name, good description. You can also get like a nice picture like one of these. Best way is just to go into iRacing, start up like a test drive and just take a screenshot from the replays or something at the end of your test drive. That's how I did these ones. That's the only way I can kind of think of it. But yeah, the best thing as well when you are making these now, this is how I typically tend to upload these for the final edition is I will upload first off a picture of the car itself, actually in the game, and then second one then I would have the skin as well, just because I think it makes it a little bit better just have the two of them there. And like I said, you can put the tail in the description as you want, completely up to you. So yeah, that is how you would create a paint job for any car in iRacing. It's pretty much it's the same process as every other car. It's just obviously different cars with different panels, so you kind of have to figure that out. But yeah, obviously it may be different too depending on what software you use. Now, like I said, it'll work pretty much for anything that will allow you to work with. It'll actually allow you to work with anything that allows you just to render the PNG. But it's just best just to be able to work with layers because you can, remove something if you don't like it a lot more easier rather than have to go and, completely use the rubber tool and redo the whole thing again. But yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this is helpful and useful. If you have any questions and something doesn't seem to be working right, feel free to leave a comment. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. With YouTube recently, I've kind of been struggling to reply to comments and stuff like that, but I will do my best to do that. Yeah, leave a like as always, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you for the next video. Bye.